How's it going? Today is 26th of October, Saturday, and we are taking a look at the market and what kind of opportunities we can find. In today's video, quickly, we're going to be recapping of something that we were taking a look at this week. That would be a purchase of potentially 100 vehicles by Lithuania. And we're going to do that just in a second. But overall, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at UK and UK's investment and all what's happening when it comes to heating and preparing for cold season, right? And how much of expenditure that might cost all and investments, all those kind of things, right? But just before we do that, we're gonna be taking a look at Lithuania, right? So that would be a Lithuania boost Boxer Vilkas fleet by nearly 30%, and that would be the management in Lithuania, military management, looking to purchase potentially 100 vehicles. So I thought quickly I would take a look at the market and I would try to find perhaps alternative, perhaps for a better price. But I don't know all the details, right? I don't know the contract, I don't know all the terms, as well as if they would be able to sell some of that equipment back. I only know what's been published, right? So there's more perhaps complexity to it, as well as what kind of equipment and who's going to be manufacturing some of that equipment should be important, right? Potentially the price, we don't know all the details, but potentially what information is available, the price might be anywhere from 4, perhaps 5 million up to 9 million. Depends, right, on manufacturers, but that would be roughly the price. And places of origin, that would be Germany and Netherlands. Since some of the equipment so that we were taking a look at, that would be manufactured in Israel, so it's worth mentioning. So it's not necessarily just sourcing comes from two governments, but potentially from three governments. What it, depending of where Lithuanians would be interested in sourcing some of that equipment from, right? From there, so roughly, let's say it's 5 million, right? From 5 million, let's take a look at alternatives in the market. We can take a look at Tata Advanced Systems, and that would be the system that's called Wheeled Armored Platform, or VHAP, and it would be manufactured by Tata Group or Systems, right? Since there's a different organization, perhaps, and entire price and or history, the way how they were developing these platforms, as well as what information I have access to. Might be some time ago, not necessarily something most up to date, since it might be 10 years in the making and a lot of improvements made since then. But what would be important, perhaps a price and what kind of price we can find. That would be potentially between 1 and 1.2 million dollars. It can perhaps go up to 2.5. So for the same price, you can potentially Lithuania can purchase double the amount, double. So whatever they have plans for, they can purchase double. So if it's 200, they can purchase 400. It might be important, it might not be important, but I thought let's take a look at the market and see what alternatives are in the market, right? Let's progress. We won't be able to delve deeper than perhaps just taking a look at very basic information without too much details, right? Just a 10-minute video is something that we're going to be sticking with. That would be finances, and that might be some of the finances, and they might be sourced from Australia. That would be Australia funds back British economy with major moves. The UK, £30 billion of investment will be injected into British economy as a Prime Minister continues his drive for attract foreign business back to UK, and potentially that will be just a bullet points. Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, continues to drive of growth during historical visit to specific countries and region. This comes as Australia superannuation fund. Okay, okay. Where Super form a strategic partnership with British property firm to invest up to 1 billion in UK's property, since UK is looking to build a lot, right? So 1.5 million houses I believe they might be focusing on very particular areas like heating in particular right now, but perhaps there's a bigger strategy in play, right? Australia boost builds on the major success the International Investment Summit last week, which includes further 2.4 billion of investment from down under. Okay. So we have a little bit of jokes as well as how that investment would be able to pay back over time. Similar investments can be perhaps sourced from Canada, New Zealand, or other governments, right? Let's progress and let's take a look at the next article. Next press release that would be 6 towns and cities to pilot clean heating innovation, since that would be maybe where a lot of expenditure would be, and where and who can do it, and how a house could be heated, right? So heating is something that we're gonna be taking a look at in just a second, right? So how to where finances would come from, how houses can be built, as well as heating, how installation of all the processes, including energy costs, all these kind of things, would be of importance, right? Government announces England's first ever heat network zone, supporting businesses and building owners to benefit from low cost and low carbon heating. And that will be a lot of initiatives. We can perhaps briefly check on some of the initiatives, and perhaps we can take part. Is something that would be strange if it would be last minute, even if it's been published right now. Perhaps to prepare for such initiatives would be something that was put in play a long time ago, at least 12 months ago, right? Anyway, we won't have enough time. Let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Let's take a look at the next article. That will be a case study. It's something that's called biomass. Biomass is the first satellite that will study the world's forests in 3D dimensions, right? At least there's an or similar project that will be satellites. Since we're focusing on heating, some of the satellites will be able to take a look at housing and where a lot of heat is being lost. Perhaps they can do that. I would believe that a lot of satellites will have this kind of function to understand in perhaps even Celsius, right? Where a lot of houses during heating season losing a lot of heat, and perhaps a lot of businesses can offer solutions when it comes preventing loss of heat by isolating house a little bit better, perhaps walls, all those kind of things, right? Or at least the government should focus on this kind of areas. But anyway, I'll touch on it and let's progress. Let's go to the next article. That will be some of those initiatives, how energy can be produced. There are a lot of initiatives when it comes to fusion, and the UK is taking part. It might be collaboration efforts when it comes to partnerships with European countries, including France, and UK was at one point looking to develop some of these projects themselves. But again, when it comes to energy production, it might be a very tough and hard thing to do. They were looking for two companies, including one engineering company, and well, there was another company that they were looking for, but they couldn't build enough interest when it comes to energy production, and it seems that they hire what I believe another person. Perhaps they might be able to solve this problem when it comes to energy prices and investments in the new initiatives, quote unquote new. But again, let's progress and let's take a look at the next article. Again, just something to close this video with. That would be UK to chair Global Earth Observation Group with bold ambition for data uptake. That would be UK has announced a chair of Committee on Earth Observation Satellites, and something that would potentially be carried out by UK Space Agency. There's a lot of things happening. I'm not that interested in promoting other businesses, but when it comes to cost and how much UK is doing compared to how much America is doing, how much is China doing in this, how much France is doing in this kind of space, UK is lacking as of now, as well as when it comes to per kilogram, how much it costs to take any payload into space, orbit, all those kind of things for other governments, and those prices constantly going down, and the UK is not doing enough. So while taking a look at this area, and we are looking at chair and committees, all those kind of things, perhaps they can sit down and think about the ways how to reduce the cost of taking anything up to outer space or satellites, all those kind of things per kilogram. How UK would be able to reduce. I know the UK perhaps measuring weights in different metrics, not the metric system, but anyways, it doesn't make a difference if we're not doing enough in when it comes to determining the cost of taking anything, right? While other governments without promoting business. Let's do not go there. UK, come on, do a little bit more. Since China, India, US, France, and all other European countries doing a lot, UK is not doing enough. So hopefully they would be taking a look at this area. Let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.